YouTube, what's going on? Kyle again from ePoolSupply. Today we are back with some quick fix videos for you guys on Pentair's SuperFlo variable speed pool pump. We're going to dive in and kind of show you guys how to change some stuff apart, so stay tuned. Alright guys, and we're back. So again, today we've got some quick fix videos for you guys on Pentair's SuperFlo variable speed pool pump. As you guys can tell, does not look like the same pool pump that we had in our intro. If you guys want to know how I got down to this point, make sure you guys check out the links in the description. We'll actually show you guys how to tear this apart to this point. For today's video, you don't necessarily need to remove the volute end, but you will need to take this top keypad off. So if you guys don't know how to get access into this internal, you guys want to make sure you guys check out that video. It's really simple, quick 4 screws in order for you guys to get everything out. But for today's video, I want to actually show you that after you guys have removed that, you guys can actually take off this entire top off of the actual motor end. So this is going to be your drive, and then you actually have your full motor underneath it. So if for whatever reason you guys are running into issues with communication, the pump's not working, this isn't getting power, this may be a quick fix for you guys. Again, we suggest that if you're running into any issues with the drive, that you guys purchase a new pool pump. The price of the drive along with a new keypad is going to run you roughly a few $100s short of buying an entire new pool pump. So if you're running into issues there, definitely suggest buy another unit. That way you guys can put that new unit in, start running, take your old unit out, and be able to use it for parts for that new unit. So it will save you money later off of that in terms of having to buy a new one up front. But again, today's video, we're going to take this drive off and I'm going to show you guys how to remove it. So if for some reason you're having some kind of electrical issues, it's throwing errors at you and you've tried to clear them, you've tried to work on it. Sometimes it comes down to this drive can go bad. So you do need to replace this entire assembly. They sell them in 2 different parts. You can actually buy just the keypad top as well as the drive. You can buy the entire keypad drive assembly separate from the motor, or you can buy the entire thing all together. Again, it just tends to get a little bit more expensive when you guys are replacing the motor ends of the pump, where I always suggest people just buy a new one and use their old one for parts. Just that way you guys can save yourself more money later down the line. So once you guys have actually removed the keypad top and you have access, obviously if you have this thing hooked up to any power, you're going to go ahead, disconnect any power, turn off the breakers before you guys touch any of that, but you're going to go ahead, remove all those wires off, so then that way everything's gone. And then that way you guys have just clean access in here and you don't have to worry about getting shocked by anything. But you will need access under here in order to get to the 2 screws that are located right here by this ribbon cable. So there's 2 Phillips head screws right here located. And then you're also going to flip this onto its side, and you guys will see underneath that the drive is attached on one side here with a screw. And then of course on the opposite side, there is an additional screw as well. So again, if you're going to remove these things, definitely can use a power tool to get them off. But when you guys are going to put everything back together, you definitely want to make sure that you guys use a hand tool so that way nothing gets messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew these ones so that I can get these out. Again, this pump is unionized. So if you have the ability to take this thing off, go put it on a flat surface, go stick it somewhere so that you guys don't have to worry about any of these screws or parts or pieces or anything disappearing on you. Definitely suggest being able to do what I'm doing and being able to put it on a table. But if you didn't unionize it and you're directly plugged in and you guys are working at this at the equipment, just be careful. You want to make sure that you guys don't lose any of those things. So I went ahead and removed those 2, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the 2 on the side, so bear with me. Okay. So very common with these ones that sit up top. These pieces, they're like a ceramic almost, tend to rattle and they can break. So you definitely want to make sure that these 2 that are located underneath the drive get taken off and screwed back on with a hand tool, just so then that way you guys don't over torque anything and snap that. That can be finicky. And then if it does snap for whatever reason, It's not going to affect the full functionality of the pump, but you may hear a little bit of rattle after that, as this thing's going to sit there and kind of bounce and agitate on top of the motor as it's running. So definitely want to be careful when you guys are removing these screws. So once you guys get them off, you just kind of got to get the wiggle game going on in order to get it up. You guys will see that ribbon cable I was telling you guys about before. You're going to need to remove that. So you're going to want to go ahead and pinch that out. Bear with me because I need to pinch it. Go ahead, wiggle that out. Snaps up. It's going to refeed back out through the pump. Sometimes you got to use your other hand to kind of finicky it out. But again, this is connected direct straight into the motor. So if anything happens with this, unfortunately, you got to get a whole new motor, which again, when you're talking about parts like that, it's always smart. Use the money to buy a new one and then use this one for parts for you guys. So I just want to show you guys how to remove it. Just knowing that you guys actually have to remove the top keypad panel in order to get access to that other ribbon cable and those other two screws to be able to remove the entire drive, excuse me. And then as well as removing those two on the side. So then that way this entire thing can just slide right off. And then you basically just have your motor right here. So definitely other videos where you guys can remove the seal plate and you guys can do other parts like that. Again, when you guys are starting to get into repairs like that, I would suggest contacting a pool professional in order to make sure that it's done correctly, or I would suggest buying a new pump and then being able to mess with this and use it as parts later. That way, if anything breaks in that process, you guys aren't stuck with having to lose out on your parts as well as the replacement pump. So just want to show you guys how to get the drive off. Again, if you were going to get a new one, you're going to slide it on the same way. This ribbon cable is going to have to get fed back up through. You're going to go ahead and sink all your screws back down, put your lid back on. And then again, if you're doing this, most of the time you're not going to remove this wet end. You're not going to remove the volute. So then the pump should be ready to go and you guys should be able to go plug it back in. But where we're at right now, we just want to show you guys how to get it off. The specific part of the drive here, I do want to let you guys know that there are special star bits on the top that you cannot take off. So you cannot do maintenance onto this part. This is where a lot of the software is. This is where a lot of the boards are. So you guys cannot maintenance that. That is only maintenanceable for a Pentair technician. So you guys do not suggest you guys getting underneath this hood and starting to mess with any of that stuff, because then again, it's going to cause you guys more problems down the line. So if you're running into this issue, the pump's on warranty. Highly suggest that you contact Pentair to begin with, because then they'll be able to send a technician out, or at least walk you guys through the proper steps on that. And then they'll also have note of it for a warranty purpose later down the line. So definitely smart, if you're under that warranty, contact them first. Otherwise, definitely make sure that you guys consult with a pool professional in your area before you guys start tearing this thing apart and breaking additional pieces, causing you more money down the road. But again, I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. We're going to have some more videos on tearing apart some pool pumps for you guys, so you guys can see the workings as well as how to replace some of the moving parts. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Until then, I'm Kyle from ePoolSupply, and we'll see you next time.